Hey guys, it's me again, and today this might be a little controversial. I don't know, but like, I want to defend single dads for real. Now you all know that with my father, I've talked about him, and like how he left us and stuff like that, and you know, sort of the classic. He would only be there for birthdays and holidays and whatever, right? But um still, one thing that I didn't say in that video, and I'll leave that video in the description, is that like he did eventually come back, and he did eventually start taking care of us at one point. Um, Honestly, and he worked and he took good care of us. Now, my mom was still basically financially supporting us, number one because he didn't make that much to begin with, and it was me, him, and my brother. And obviously in late 2000s Florida, in the hood, bro, come on now. How is a single parent gonna be getting by? But he was also very bad at administering money, because we were living with my mom before that, with my other brother included, and we were doing just fine. Um, and they worked similar amounts, so I'm not excusing that, but at the same time, um, my dad still did his part, and he loved us a lot, and he wasn't perfect, just like my mom was and is not perfect, and he's still not perfect. But during that time, he did his duty as a parent, and he did a really good job. Um, and I know, especially in that era, I was looking at some numbers, and I'll see if I can find them again. But in that era, 0.8% of um parents or children with a single parent were living with their dads. It must have been like 0.5 or 0.4% for three or more kids, like we were at one point. Um, and yeah, that's been an issue I talked about, right? Like how women are just expected to do that stuff. But I do want to talk about that 0.8%, that 0.4%, because it was still my experience. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Yes, my mom supported us financially, and that was important. Um, and I will always be grateful for that, always. And she's currently doing that now. But um, to be frank, my mom was not a book smart type of person, and she still really isn't all that much, and she would never really encourage us to be curious and be academically good. Now, that's partly not her fault, right? She was born in one of the poorest regions of Guatemala. Yes, she was light skinned. She passed and everything, but still that's not easy. Cause they were still poor. Like my maternal grandma was a seamstress, and my maternal grandpa was a cattle herder, guys. Um, Whereas I've talked about this before. My dad was just really educated. He came from the Guatemalan upper class. It's so yeah, you would expect that, and yeah, he passed that on to us. Um, one that I remember that was like me and my brother's first introduction to algebra was this Spanish algebra book by a Cuban guy named Baldor. Algebra Baldor. Bruh, Algebra Baldor? Only real G's know about that. Okay? But, no, but also, the Demystified series of books that like explain mathematical concepts, he would buy those things for us. And my brother, who went to Harvard, got the idea to go to Harvard because of my dad and all of the stuff he was telling him and all of the books he was buying him. And let's be real, guys, very few dads in the hood were telling their kids that stuff. Very few, and that deserves recognition, and I do recognize it, that it was important in both our lives. Alright, I just wanted to do the make that video. Bye.